Businesses can't afford to give any more pay rises. We've already seen wage inflation, up from the last 6 months.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, every cost to a business is going up, and that's no different with railways and such.
Yeah.
But where is this money coming from? I can't just find money out of thin air to give staff extra money. I love my staff. I don't want any to leave. I want them to stay with me forever. But if the money's not there, the money's not there. Now, I'd like to know where this money's coming from. But this is a real political sort of gamesmanship here. This is sort of a one-up on the government. It's going to try and put pressure on them to fold and come to the table with the other strikes. But one thing I think not a lot of people sort of seem to realise is that these people are striking for their own circumstances.
Yeah.
And I have respect for that. But it's at the detriment to millions of others, working class people, businesses, education, hospital appointments.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's indefensible.
And that's a really interesting point. I'd like to get you on this, actually, because I don't want to live in a country where people can't strike. I don't want to live in a country where people haven't got the right to stand up and make their concerns heard. And I'm sure we can all agree on that. But at the same time, if you strike at the minute on the trains, for example, as they are doing, they're not, in my opinion, they're not standing up for workers because they're stopping workers getting to work. And that's something that I disagree with.
I think it's not as binary as we would want to believe. As you mentioned, prices are rising by 9.1% a year. It's the highest for 40 years.
Yeah.
Bank of England said that inflation might reach 11% in months. These people aren't asking for above inflation. And whilst there is a lot of outrage, and by the way, I don't think they're necessarily right, but let's not forget that MPs received over £2,000 pay rise this year.
There is that
They already earn $84,000. They were outraged at the thought of their second jobs being banned, alcohol being banned. So I do think there is a hypocrisy for these people who earn over £84,000 a year. And by the way, the average expenses and allowance claims last year was over £157,000.
Especially the ones in Scotland, by the way.
Which is up 6.5 on the year before. So that is...
But that's not denying other people to earn a living.
So I think it's very, very unfortunate that, as you said, working class people are being affected by this. But this is also why the trade unions are so important, because they protect their working class people. And whilst I don't agree with everything, because I'm not hard on the left, and I also don't work in the public sector, what I've loved this week is hearing Mike Lynch stand up for working class people, because Keir Starmer does not stand up for working class people. And I'm happy to see Labour back pocket. But I'm happy to see Labour politicians supporting this, because I don't necessarily vote for Labour, but that is the point of Labour, that they represent. And there has to be a balance. Can I just quickly say, there has to be a balance between the relentless pursuit of profit, which is the Conservatives, and the pursuit of workers' rights. And trade unions protect their people. And
there's got to be a balance of not denying people being able to work.
We'll go back down. We'll start with you, Adam. Go on.
People have got to get to work. People have the right to feed their families. Self-employed people this week have missed out on jobs. You know, thousands of pounds. A friend of mine...
I spoke to someone yesterday who couldn't get to a job interview.
Right, OK. So that's not fair. At the end of the day, I do respect these people sticking up for their own jobs, but it is at the detriment to others.